Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Great. Looking forward.
We'll just wait a couple of minutes more, maybe, before starting, just for other hubs to join. I see there is some people joining now, and we will start.
There you go. So we have 4 hubs at the moment. Okay, Lucy, I think that we can
start.
Right? We have 5 on 5 apps, so let's start.
Let's start. Okay, thank you. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to everyone, depending on where you are. So today is the 3rd and final day of this SheTrades Hub virtual gathering on digitalization. So let me just come back on what we have seen so far. So on Monday, we had a state of play of the gender digital divide with 2 global initiatives. So we had the UNCTAD E-Trade for Women initiative, as well as the Equal Global Partnership from the International Telecommunication Union. And yesterday, we had a presentation of concrete solution from BSO from different parts of the world in enabling women-owned businesses to engage in the digital economy. So today is a special session, as we are going to look at different platform and online tool that ITC offers. Each of them have different focus and purposes, including providing e-commerce solution to businesses, solution to empower climate smart small businesses, also offering of a virtual learning space to support women business growth, or diagnostic tool to assess your BSO performance, as well as other outstanding tools that we are going to see today. So let's keep the session interactive. So I encourage you to ask the question to the speakers to learn more about these tools. So it seems important for us to raise awareness about those tools among the SheTrades network, but more widely the business ecosystem, because those tools are free of use and can be applied to organizations as yours to bring affordable solution to your clients or members, and to boost also their participation in international trade. So I'm happy to welcome my ITC colleagues today that will be presenting those exciting online tools and platforms that we have in-house. So first, we'll have a presentation of Mrs. Annabelle Sykes, which is an e-commerce advisor at ITC, who will present us the ITC program on e-commerce and its platform. Then we will have a presentation. Andrea, if you can move maybe to the next slide so we can see we have today. Thanks. So the second presentation will be made by Mr. Gregory Sampson, which is ITC Market Analysis, who will introduce us the Climate Smart Network, an online platform which provides a sustainable solution to companies. We'll then have a presentation of Mrs. Ibrahim Rashida, a communication and a partnership advisor at ITC, who will present the SheTrades.com platform, an online tool that was initiated by our ITC flagship program on women and trade. And we will end the session with a presentation done by Mr. Andreas Antoni, who will change his hat today to present you the ITC benchmarking platform, a tool that serves to undertake diagnostic of your business support organization performance. So without taking more time, I would like to introduce Annabelle Sykes. So Annabelle is an e-commerce and SME digital transformation advisor at the International Trade Center. As part of the eCom Connect initiative, Annabelle supports SMEs reach new markets through online channels, including by conducting training, developing innovative digital solutions, and establishing partnership with key e-commerce stakeholders. So I would like to hand over the floor to you, Annabelle, to start the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Hi, everyone. It's nice to see some familiar faces out there. Tanvir, Phyllis, I think Joyce, we've crossed paths already. So lovely to have you with us today. So I'm just going to share my screen and hopefully that's good. What I might do is just hide my video so you won't see me, just so I can use a different screen and it'll be a little bit easier. So I'll just do that. I'm not used to Zoom anymore. Where's the video gone? All right. So this is, I'm not going to really go into the program because I only have 15 minutes to share with you, but I'm just going to show you the ecomconnect.org platform, which some of you may be familiar with, but which has grown a lot in the last couple of years and which has much more content and many more tools. So if you haven't joined this platform before, so you want to come to ecomconnect.org and you want to select join us, I'm already signed in, so I'm just going to log in here. So it's a closed community platform, so you do need to sign in, but once you do, then it's super easy. Oh, that's not going to be it. It's super easy to access and to look at all of this fabulous content. So it's taking a little bit of time. So here we go. So this, once you've created your account and you've logged in, this is what you get to see. So first of all, I encourage you to review your profile, and you can do that by clicking this little arrow here, and add a picture, which is always really good, and to populate the information that's required of you here, so people can get to know who you are and then can reach out to you. So this is really a community platform which is catered to businesses, but also business support organizations and other stakeholders that are interested in further developing e-commerce in their country, in their region, or did, you know, more broadly, the sort of the digital agenda. So you can see we've got close to 6,000 users now, and we've got this interactive map which allows you to see where all the users are. And this is really where it becomes interesting, because what we want to do is for people to make those connections and reach out to one another and get a sense for what everyone's doing, you know, sharing solutions if they've come across solutions, or collaborating. And we've got fantastic examples of businesses that have reached out either within their country or across the globe to collaborate on joint initiatives. So to the left, my left here, you can see all the users. It's possible to direct message everyone. So you can reach out to somebody in particular. You can reach out to us, anybody that's from the ITC team. You can see we've got little stars here, and start exchanging and collaborating. There are two very dynamic elements to this community platform. The first one is the live feed. So this is very much like any kind of social feed that you are probably using, so Facebook or LinkedIn. And here you are able to write a post. You can check in, you can share a trip, and you can also create an event. And so we populate a lot of the feed, but we also encourage all of our users to add anything that's, you know, interesting and fun, and whatever, or they can share their, you know, what they're doing with their business. So you can see we share all of our events, and I'll come to that in a minute. We do a lot of events on the platform. We have different people sharing about what they're up to, or different topics. For instance, building a successful brand. We share content from external partners as well. There's a lot of information that's freely available that's relevant to our community, so we'll do that. And most of the content, as you can tell, is in English, but we also look to put some content in French and put some content in Spanish as well. If we have opportunities, or if we're starting new projects in different countries, then we will also advertise it here when we're doing calls for applications for businesses. So that's also useful. So as you can tell, hopefully I'm not going too quickly and making you dizzy. You can sort of scroll through this feed, and there's lots of useful and interesting content that can be added here. And we really encourage you to also post and put different photos, and we have some businesses which share what they're up to and what they're doing. So that's the live feed. The other really dynamic part of this platform is the events section. So we create a lot of events on which we sort of host on this particular platform. And you will see them under this particular tab here. So you can tell some of the upcoming events that we have. So we have some sort of regular events that we do, such as e-commerce clinics. And those are really small group meetings for anybody to raise questions, and for a team of experts to just respond, and for people to share, you know, sort of also their experience. We have some events around, you know, particular topics. So in this instance, for example, it's about, you know, using digital tools. We have events in other languages. So here we've got a Spanish event. And as a team at ITC, we have established relationships with a lot of the big marketplaces, with some logistics partners, with some payment providers. And so we'll reach out to them periodically and ask them to also host events on the platform. So you'll see here, these are past events that we led with Alibaba, which were sharing how to use the platform, how to gain access and be successful on the platform, and also more widely how to engage in B2B e-commerce. So there's lots going on here, and this is all completely free to sort of join, as is the platform. So we've had a look at the live feed, the events, and then we have, I'm going to look at the tab here, which is about connecting, and there's lots of different things under this particular tab. And again, it's really, we want to create a sort of framework for people to use and, you know, to really sort of make the most of. So as institutions, you can really, you know, use the sort of architecture of this platform to connect with your members or to share opportunities. So here we've got a tab, a functionality that allows you to share opportunities that might be happening in your region, you know, to the community. We offer the possibility to create a company listing, but this can be also a listing for your organization, and then you can search as well with the different filters. For example, who within the community is in apparel and fashion. So that's a nice little way for businesses as well to promote themselves, or for institutions to promote themselves to the community. And then we have something which is called groups, and this can be especially useful for institutions because they are groups that we generally manage, but we do make them available for institution if an institution wants to create a particular group, and the group can be private or it can be public. And private, it just means that you monitor who enters your group. And in effect, it's sort of like a mini community. So this is a group that we have for people who are specifically interested in digital marketing. So we will put content on here, which is really about this topic especially. And you can have you can see your members, you can create special events, and so on under that particular group. You can see here we've done a particular group with one of our partner institution, Keproba in Kenya. And so here they are able to sort of share information about who they are, what they do, what they offer businesses, and they can create events and they can market particular information to the community or to the people who have joined that group, and sort of, you know, manage a sort of sub-community. So that's something that can be discussed individually with institutions. So I'm going to move to the Learn platform, which is really one of the biggest one that we have here. And we have the idea, really also the sort of vision behind Ecom Connect was that we were creating a lot of content, a lot of material within our projects, but it sort of remained within the projects. And then once the project was finished, the businesses were sort of let loose and we weren't really connecting with them or staying in contact, and they had no longer access to us and to what we do. So the idea with this with this sort of platform was really a place for us to sort of hang some of the information that we've developed and that we've you know, we have and we want to make available as a public good to more businesses. So let me start out with the articles and guides. So these are, as the name indicates, different news stories or different guides around specific topics. So there's a wealth of information here. You have more information about how to use the community. You have lots of really valuable information around, you know, really key e-commerce topics like logistics or different kinds of marketplaces, or, you know, how do I understand customs and taxes to sell to the US? You know, how do I improve my online visibility? You've got some filters here to the left, and you can filter by summary sheets. And we've got a number of summary sheets, which we've done a few years ago now, but that are really, really helpful sort of how-tos around e-payments, around managing your e-commerce business. So really lots and lots of useful content that you can find on here. Within the projects that we run, we often do a lot of different kinds of contents, and we have video tutorials. So we've added all of those video tutorials on here as well. And they cover a wide range of topics, which are a little bit broader than just e-commerce. We have, they're all linked to what an e-commerce business needs to really be successful selling online. So you just click on those little arrows down here, and you can see all the different topics. So these may be actual videos that we've created as a video content, or they may be recordings of past webinars on these specific topics. There'll be a mix of languages as well. So you just need to sort of browse through all of this. You can see that here in particular, there's one in French. So it's really just, adding the content, like I said, on here so that it's available to a wider audience. So now I will, before I move on to the tools, which are a big part of what we do as well, let me just highlight this new Strive community training, which we've just added. It's something that we've developed in partnership with MasterCard. And they have some fantastic modules which are sort of self-driven learning, which they've created, and which we've been able to integrate within our platform. They're really nicely done. They're very, very straightforward and sort of simple and easy to go through. So I really encourage you to take a look. And again, this is really just, there's so much useful content here that you can either use to conduct training with your members, or you can just share with your members. Take a look, and here you've got this this very good online learning. We also have our online learning platform, which we've developed at ITC, the Trade Academy, which you may know, and we've got some e-learnings on there. This is a bit more generic, I would say, and it covers a few more topics, and there's a flow in terms of the learning between the first module and the last. Okay, I think I've got a few more minutes, so I'm just going to quickly show you the tools. So again, within the framework of the projects that we run, we try to develop additional tools which we use that can be helpful to our businesses. And so we have these 4 main tools which we've developed over the years, which I'm going to introduce to you now quickly. So we've got the e-commerce readiness quiz. So hopefully you're still seeing my screen. Has this moved to the e-commerce readiness quiz? Yeah, okay. So this is a very simple quiz. It's just straight yes or no answers around your digital maturity. So just to get a sense of where you're at on your digital journey and what you need to be focusing your attention on. So you've got some sort of a number of questions that says, do you already have a website, or do you only have social media, or it'll cover all these separate topics. I'm just answering them a little bit randomly here. And then at the end, it'll just give you a sort of diagnosis of sort of where you're at. Here, I'm a beginner. And then it gives you sort of a breakdown of where you're a beginner. So in terms of customer service, I'm an absolute expert, but I still need to work on some other levels. And so there's a little bit of information. If you can send results to yourself, and it will give you a little bit of a breakdown of the things to think about. So again, it's quite high level, but it's a nifty little tool for businesses to get, and for you, that you can use with your businesses in trainings to say, okay, so what's the group, where's the group at? Do I have a majority of beginners, or am I talking to, you know, more advanced businesses? And that helps because then you can tailor the training, you know, to the audience. The second one that we have is the e-commerce cost calculator. Now, one of the issues that we have with businesses is for them to get a sense of the type of fees that they're likely to incur when they're selling online. So what we wanted to do here is just have a little online calculator. And again, it's all automatic, which allows businesses to understand at least the basic fees that they would be charged if they were to sell through a marketplace. So there's an initial sort of overview calculator, which I've just plugged in here. But the one that's really, really helpful is the sort of, you know, the marketplace one. So we've got this tool for some of the major marketplaces and also Shopify. And even if you're not going to be selling on these particular platforms, it's just nice to get us to use this when you're training the businesses, because you can get a sense for, okay, what am I selling? What are my shipping costs? You know, what are my maybe production costs? You can put other costs in here. How much am I going to charge for my product? How much am I going to charge to ship my product to my customer? And what's great is that as I fill this in, you will see to the right, the calculator sort of comes into play, and you get a sense of what your gross product profit margin is going to be. So this is really helpful for businesses, because oftentimes when they start, they may not be profitable. And it's the case for many of the businesses, because they're having to sell, they're having to cover their subscription fee or their membership fee, or, you know, or their sort of hosting fees, or, you know, whatever. So you want to get a sense for, okay, what am I aiming for? How many products do I need to be selling a month? At what price? To be able to cover my costs. And it's really key to get that pricing right. So the businesses are not surprised by costs that they hadn't foreseen, and then they realize a few months down the line that they're actually losing money. The next one is the payment solution finder. This is really super quick. It's just, again, just trying to simplify the lives of our businesses, getting a sense for what payment solutions are available in a particular region or in a particular country. So here you can select the region and the country that you're interested in, and it'll list the payment solutions which are available in that country. And so here in Côte d'Ivoire, we have actually quite a lot, and which is a little bit surprising, but I guess it's, I trust that the tool is correct. And here, when you click on the little arrows, you get a bit of information around that particular payment solution. So here we see this is Flutterwave, which is a Nigeria payment solution, and it's available in lots of different countries, which we can see here. It supports different currencies, so it also gives you some useful information about all the different payment solutions. And if you want to just see all the payment providers, you can click on the button here. So last one, and then I'm done, and I'll hand over the Africa Marketplace Explorer. So this is a bit more technical. It's a bit more, it was developed with the Amsterdam University, so it's got a lot of data. I mean, again, it can be very useful for institutions who want to get an understanding of, you know, what marketplaces are available, what characteristics they have, and also, you know, what's you know, what categories they are available, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not going to go into this. I could spend a whole hour just talking about this particular marketplace. There's one on Africa. There's also one on Latin America that's just been launched, was launched at the end of last year. And we're working on one for Asia as well. So, but this is useful as well if you have to write speeches, or you have, you just want to get some statistics around just marketplaces in general. And it can be useful for the businesses to say, well, you know, where if I wanted to sell in a particular country, would I be able to based on my country of origin, et cetera, et cetera. So that's in a very, very short time, ecomconnect.org. So I'll open it up to questions if you have any. If you wanted to ask us questions after this session, you can come on the platform, you can direct message me or anyone that has a little ITC logo, and you can also email us at ecomconnect@intrasend.org. So that's it for me.
Thank you very much, Annabelle, for presenting these very exciting tools which play an important role in helping SMEs to sell online. And it's really mind-blowing to see all the functionality that the platform is offering, as well as practical tools such as a cost calculator or the payment solution finders. So I would like yet to open the floor to some questions. If the hubs want to know more about the tool, and they can also then contact directly Annabelle through the platform.
There is a question, Lucy. The SheTrades Hub in Rwanda. She said they're very interested in joining. I think that Annabelle said it's quite easy to join, but actually I have a question for Annabelle. As we are here, the SheTrades Hubs are indeed business support organization, and I see that you have a specific part, related to business support organization. If you could give us a little bit of more in-depth understanding of what a BSO can do online, or if you have some example of successful partnerships that business support organization could get through the use of the platform. That would be, I think, very useful and interesting for all the SheTrades Hubs as a business support organization.
Thanks, Andrea. Yeah, so what would be helpful? I know that all of the SheTrades Hub institutions do a lot of training as part of the support that they provide to the businesses. So they can go on the platform and, they can either learn themselves before they do the training by looking at our past webinars or our video tutorials or our articles, so that they can, just make sure that they've got the latest information around any topic that they're going to be delivering. So that's one of the things. Then they can also direct their members, to the platform directly to, use and benefit from all the information that's on there, and in particular some of the self-driven training modules that we have there. So they could just do like a training on e-commerce, and then they could just direct the businesses and accompany them as they sort of complete the training, in particular the one that I showed it in terms of MasterCard. And then we do enter into collaborations with particular institutions in some specific countries. So we have done that in Kenya, we've done that in Nicaragua, and we've done that in Tunisia, where we have a sort of bigger presence due to some of the projects that we've been running there. And within that context, we've created these specific groups, which are managed by that institution. So we really sort of hand over the keys, to the institution to run the group. And so they would then encourage their members to join that specific group, and then they could sort of, run it with very specific content that is related to them. Then, maybe in a different language, if that's something that would be necessary or helpful, or, with content that's very relevant to their audience. So that's one of the ways that we can collaborate. And of course, all of the tools are available and they're free. So again, that's something that they can integrate in any kind of support or training that they do with their businesses. So yeah, and then also advertise the events that we do, or look out for some of the bigger events that we have. We did a very large training, for example, last year with Canva. I think we did that in partnership with SheTrades as well. It was a sort of ITC wide initiative, and there were a number of Canva Pro subscriptions, for example, that were given out for free. So whenever, it's good to be on these platforms. Obviously, all of the institutions here are on SheTrades already. I know that it creates lots of different sort of platforms. I think we're trying to do a sort of a single sign-on, so it's, you know, it's easier for all of you to navigate between all the platforms that we're creating, which can be a little bit difficult. But yeah, it's useful to look out for those sort of big you know, events and offers that we try to make available to the members, to the institutions, so that they can then offer them to their own users and members.
Thank you very much, Annabelle. Actually, I think it's very interesting for a BSO to have the possibility to access such a tool, because it can help on the strategic point of view. I mean, it can be really a strategic axe that the BSO can develop, but also you provide really hands-on tools that they can use to develop and further strengthen their service portfolio in that particular field. So congratulations, it's very, I must say that as an ITC, I knew what, you know, had an idea what Ecom Connect was, but I didn't expect that this depth, and the fact that you also use the platform as a knowledge management tool for not to lose the learning experiences that you do throughout the implementation of different projects in different countries. In e-commerce is relatively new. I mean, we can no longer say it's new, but it's something that definitely exploded during the pandemic, but it's also evolving very fast. So this learning and this lesson learned and the ability that you have to document them and to provide them to the BSOs as well as enterprises, I think it's very, very valuable. So thank you so much for that. And okay, if there are other questions, we're happy to take now or at the end, or maybe hand over to you, Lucy, for the next intervention. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Andrea. Just to respond to Tanvir. So just to remind you that we are going to send you after this event a small e-booklet that will include like the key takeaways, resource and material of each presentation. There will be also the recording of the tool, so you can use it also to advise women-owned businesses and your members on how to use it. So thank you very much again, Annabelle. And let's now move to the second presentation of the day. So I would like to invite Gregory Sampson to tell us more about the Climate Smart Network. So Gregory has over 15 years of experience working in international trade and sustainable development. As a solution architect within the International Trade Center, he has been developing and implementing several solutions to track, share, and monitor the sustainability of global value chain. So I hand over the floor to you, Gregory, to share more about the Climate Smart Network. Thank you.
Your mic, Greg.
Thank you very much. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Great. Fantastic. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. As Lucy mentioned, I'm Greg Sampson. I will have the pleasure to showcase a platform which is called the Climate Smart Network. We launched the platform only a few months ago, back in November at COP27. It actually got the support from John Kerry, who is the US envoy for climate change, who recognized the importance of such platforms. And also, for background information, it is a platform that is funded by the US State Department. So following the request of the US State Department and, you know, several months of conversation with them, they turned to us, ITC, based on the experience that we had working, you know, with small businesses and business support organizations such as yourselves, to really try to find a means, you know, to actually empower climate smart businesses. So those businesses that actually produce, process, or operate in a climate friendly manner. And after several months, a lot of back and forth, we started this platform, which is still in its early stages, but we already have about 10,000 companies on the platform, and we hoped to have about 100,000 by the end of this year. So let me give you a little bit of background about the information, and then we'll really see the ways in which the platform can be of benefit to you and your beneficiaries, and also see how you could feature your organization or some of your beneficiaries, which are climate smart, on the platform, because the ultimate goal of the platform is actually to create a business directory of businesses with climate smart credentials, and then to connect them with international buyers. So while you may not see, buyers' profiles on the platform, they are using the platform, and they have raised the interest in actually using such a platform to find new potential businesses and suppliers with climate smart credentials. So in a nutshell, we really try to provide the means to enable small businesses to showcase their commitments to low carbon transition and resilience. This means that even if right now you or your beneficiaries are not climate smart per se, you can actually join the platform, join the network, and actually be part of a solution that will assist you to actually move towards low carbon transition, which means that you are lowering your carbon emissions, in the future, without making a commitment to have no carbon, or to be carbon neutral, which means you balance, the carbon emissions that you emit with actual carbon credits. But over the next few months, we're going to be including additional tools in the platform to actually enable you to assess what is your carbon emission as of today, what is it that you can do to lower them, and to potentially cancel them. We're also going to be including some coaching material that we are developing, and we are making various partnerships with partners. So when it comes to the actual solution, we see three main beneficiaries. We see small businesses. So there we're very much talking about the hubs beneficiaries, right? And what they can get out of it. We're talking about brands, which are the ones that are using the platform also to source, products from climate smart suppliers. And then organizations. So that's really the hubs that actually can use the platform in everyday life. So what we're trying to do with these small businesses is really to give them visibility, to enable them to make a pledge towards low carbon emission, and to gain access to tools and material, and ultimately to connect with large buyers. What we are trying to do with the actual brands is to enable them to access this UN repository of businesses with trustworthy credentials, to identify new suppliers, to potentially provide some tools and some training materials, that they have used in their supply chain and which could be used to the beneficiaries. And then last but not least, for organizations such as yourself to be part of the solution, right? We will never be able to address climate change without really having a participatory approach. So really try to work with you and engage with your network to showcase, your beneficiaries on this platform. So now, how does the platform actually work? So let me give you the approach first of a buyer and investor so that you understand, what it will take for a buyer investor to use the platform and to actually get to know information from your hub or from your beneficiaries. So from a landing page, a buyer can actually search the Climate Smart Network based on three attributes. We recognize that a business can be climate smart if it has a certification, if it has a commitment, or if it has received some coaching. So when it comes to certification, we are starting to work with various what we call sustainability enablers to share their network of businesses which have already acquired certification to actually showcase that a business is climate smart. And as of today, we've estimated that about 1 million businesses across the world actually have potentially climate smart credentials through certification, but they have no visibility whatsoever. So as a buyer, as an investor, buyer wanting to source products from climate smart suppliers, or investor that are willing to provide, green finances and preferential credits and terms to businesses that are climate smart, this is an angle that I could take. Ultimately, another angle that one could take is to look at businesses that are committed. So maybe your organization, your beneficiaries may not have a certification as of today because it's quite demanding, but you may be committed to actually, reaching a specific carbon target. And what we're seeing right now is that there are a lot of initiatives in this climate environment that are aiming for targets, and those are being net zero by 2030, 40, 50. And this is very demanding, and this is also very demanding for some of your beneficiaries. Imagine going to some of the businesses that you work with and tell them, listen, can you be net zero by 2030? That's only in 7 years' time, or 2040, 2050. That's a lot of the commitments, that are now being aimed at by buyers, in several countries. Now, this is a bit much. This is the reason why the tool has this low carbon transition. And this is where you and your beneficiaries would be entering this climate smart environment, and where you could actually have a position. Last but not least, beyond the certification, the commitment, there is also the coaching. And there again, this may respond, to some of the hubs which may already be doing, some training programs, capacity building, awareness building on climate change. So this is where you can actually, share information with myself and my team, and we will be giving some presence to you and your beneficiaries as to, the coaching that you are doing right now. So this is kind of a long journey to actually understand the three approaches that we are taking. But if you take a commitment, businesses that are committed as an actual buyer, you can come to the platform, search the platform, and you would get some information that is returned to you. And this is very much the main navigation of the platform. This is where you can, as a buyer, really identify the businesses you're interested in. So as you may recall, we were looking at those businesses that are committed. You also have some additional information that is made available on the left-hand side to actually filter down the companies. So right now, in terms of commitment, we have about 36 companies that are listed based on the partnership with the SME Climate Hub. You could also be looking at businesses that are certified. So here we have a larger number. We've got about 9,500 that come essentially from three sustainability enablers, which are GOTS, the Global Organic Textile Standard, the Gold Standard that works on carbon credits, and one that we've just striken up recently with Organica, which is an organic certifier in Kosovo that needed a platform to showcase some of its businesses ahead of a trade fair. So they didn't know where to showcase those businesses. So they approached us and we said, listen, no problem, we can feature some of your businesses on the platform. And then last but not least, there is the actual coaching of those businesses. So if we look at, a specific profile afterwards, all of the information is always represented in a similar way, whereby the information about a business is provided on the two pillars, if you like. So the business can have access to an online profile, to actually provide visuals, on the top header, name its business, enter some of its contact details, provide a basic profile. So that's very much up to the business as to how much information they want to provide. So there can be a description, the sectors, products where they operate, any existing kind of digital information which may already exist, in the form of a website, social media, contact details, and the location. And then there is always, as a second tab, the presentation of the partner that supplied this data. So in that case, it would be Organica, that provided this information. So if you think about it, if you want to use the platform as a hub, you could contact us. We could feature the beneficiaries, which you have empowered either, through some kind of coaching, or which are willing to pledge, towards this carbon transition. Now, that's one approach. Alternatively, we could actually work with you to introduce the platform, and businesses could directly sign up to the platform. So in order to do so, they could click on the right-hand side of the screen. They could sign in or register. If it's the first time that they're accessing the platform, they could register. It's very simple. They only have to enter their email. So I will just make up a fake account as such. You read up, you sign up. We are also integrated into the ITC single sign-on. So this is something that Annabelle was mentioning, earlier on. We are really trying to find ways in which we have a common platform where all of our beneficiaries can then access our offering and all the brilliant tools that we make available. But as a business signing up to the Climate Smart Network, you can commit to actually embarking on the low carbon transition. You can also answer specific questions to see whether you want to go beyond the transition and embark on a net zero journey, in which case we can actually turn to some of our partners, the SME Climate Hub. You can include the name of your business. You can put the country. You can put an actual location. We pinpoint you, then it's up to you to say exactly, where your business is located. You can have multiple locations. You can select a product or sector where you operate. This is, if you like, the kind of mandatory information that you have to supply. And then that's where you can profile your business. So you can put the logo, maybe it has a tagline, description, the cover image at the back of the screen, any images of sustainability, green efforts, gender empowerment, which you may have, social media, contact details, and then you can submit your listing. Once your listing is submitted, you actually, sorry, I always forget to do this. Once your listing is submitted, it is sent to us, and within the next 24 hours or so, we review your profile, and then we give you access to your profile where you can actually see it on the platform and edit it. And as you sign up, you will also have access to your own dashboard. So you'll be able to see and track the traffic on your profile, see who has engaged with it. You'll have access to a communication tool to see people within the platform or outside the platform that actually want to contact you. You'll have access to your company, which you can edit. You'll have access to bookmarks or any other potential partners that you have bookmarked, and access to your account details. And as mentioned earlier on, we are also working on including some additional tools. And the next tool that we will be including is a Climate Smart resilience calculator, where as a business, you will be able to monitor, track, and assess the carbon emissions that you are doing, and actually gain access to material to actually guide you as to how you can lower your emissions. I think I'll stop here for now, Lucy, and open up the floor to questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gregory. This is a very exciting tool, but also very useful means for BSO to showcase like their commitment to low carbon transition, but also to show how do they comply with some sustainable standards. And nowadays climate change, social and environmental concern are a growing public concern. And we know that businesses are looking more and more to align their strategy, taking into consideration those concerns. So I think this is a very useful tools which address crucial topics nowadays. So I would like to open up the floor to the participants. If they have any question regarding these tools or to take part to it, any question about the functionalities, you can type it on the chat or also open your mic.
Maybe I have the usual questions, maybe just as an icebreaker. I wanted to ask you, thanks a lot for, first of all, for this very clear presentation. And I see that also is something that project enterprises and businesses into the future, in what is going to be, the future of the carbon footprint, of course. If you had, however, to bring, the value proposition of this platform from in today, and help and give us a tagline on what is actually the main benefits that a business support organization can get for its own beneficiaries, what that would be.
It's a good question, Andrea. If I were to bring it down, to boil it down to one word, I think it would be visibility. Mm-hmm. Because there is so much excellent work that is being done on the ground, yet there is no platform where this can be visible. And very often, Andrea, we find that, the material, the data, the information is there. It's just a matter of, centralizing it onto a platform where it gains visibility from international buyers. So this is very much our pitch and motto, and I'm very open to engage with the hubs, to have a one-on-one conversation with them, to see, what they are doing in the climate space and how we could feature them on the platform. And this can be done, through a 30-minute call, just a brief chat, and then also, going into seeing, okay, how many people are you supporting? What's the type of information that you've collected? What's the type of impact, information that you may have already at hand? Because, it's great to move towards, being climate smart, but what really, gives a lot of value is also, what has changed. What has been the impact on the ground? What are businesses doing different now? And here we're not talking about necessarily, some really, technology savvy solutions, even in the space of smart irrigation, or regenerative agriculture, there is really means to actually, empower businesses and give them some visibility to international buyers, I would say.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you very much, Gregory. So, and thank you for making you available to have a individual discussion with the SheTrades Hub. If they want also to share about what are the initiatives that they do in regarding climate change, or any solution also that they would like to implement, and they could get advice from you. So thank you very much for your time. We'll now move to the third presentation of today. So I invite Mrs. Rashida Ibrahim to make a presentation about the SheTrades.com platform. So Rashida is a communication and partnership professional at the ITC SheTrades initiative. She provides crucial support in the development of key offering and innovative tools, including the SheTrades platform. So this global platform connects women entrepreneurs all around the globe with resources, knowledge, and network they need to achieve their business goals. So I will hand over the floor to her so she can tell you more about what this platform is about. Thank you very much, Rashida.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Very big welcome to everyone here. Very happy to meet you all. Andrea, could you please share the PowerPoint?
I'm going to share it, sorry, just a sec.
Perhaps it would be interesting for participants to write in the chat who has actually explored the platform already. If you have any specific questions, feel free to share your questions, your queries in the chat, or send an email to the Women in Trade email, which is trade@intrascend.org. But today, there might be a small technical issue, so I might just
It seems we have a small connection issue.
You can see the screen at the moment. The presentation is up.
Hello, can you see me?
Yes, Rashida, yes, you're back on.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. Yes, I can see the screen. I hope everyone else can see the screen too. Next slide, please. Wonderful. So in this presentation, I'm going to show you a brief overview and some of the highlights of SheTrades.com, our online platform to help women entrepreneurs, women-owned and led businesses, and other businesses that want to support women in their networks thrive and meet their business and trade ambitions. So I'm going to go through just an overview, including showing what we have, the SheTrades Academy, including our company self-assessment tool, a crisis management toolkit, and some of our innovative tools such as SheTrades Outlook and Invest. Next slide, please. Wonderful. So SheTrades.com was designed to support women entrepreneurs, and it offers an extensive collection in the repository of resources, tools, and other functionalities that are free for all our members. It is UN good, so it's, yes, as I said, it's free for everyone. It's available in English, Spanish, and French, and essentially allows you to network and connect with other women entrepreneurs, other business support organizations, and other businesses, and just points of contact who are interested in helping women's economic empowerment and women's entrepreneurship. On the platform, you're also able to access a huge plethora of free resources, including the latest publications from our team of experts who develop, for example, policy briefs depending on which country you're from. For example, we hold a lot of regular SheTrades Outlook validation workshops, etc. And I'll talk more about that later on. On the platform, you can also access a lot of e-learning resources and programs, webinars, for example. And you can, of course, stay up to date with all our latest news, success stories, videos, publications, and events such as trade fairs, which you can apply to become, to come and to showcase your products, for example. So that's something very interesting for entrepreneurs and many other opportunities as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's go to some highlights. The first component is the learn component of the platform. Next slide, please. So here we have the SheTrades Academy, and it's a very comprehensive area where we have over 200 e-learning resources and repositories, and it's comprised of webinars, workshops. We have something that we developed recently called the Entrepreneurship Certificate Program, which you are able to actually get a certificate upon successful completion of the of the course. So that takes you through the whole A to Z journey of becoming an entrepreneur. And this is just one example that you can explore and use for free. And it's completely free of charge. You can access these courses at any time. And as a starting point, I'm actually going to show you something that is quite useful and I would recommend for anyone starting at SheTrades Academy, which is our company self-assessment toolkit. Next slide, please. So company's self-assessment toolkit was designed to help micro, small, medium-sized enterprises basically do a self-assessment in order to assess their current strengths and competencies as a business at the moment. So if you are a busy entrepreneur, for example, and you come to this website, you're not sure exactly what sort of courses you need to look for, you're not sure what sort of competencies perhaps that you lack at the moment, this is a great tool that will help you self-assess what are your competencies, what are your knowledge gaps, and at the end you will have a very detailed report of like, for example, maybe you are great at digital marketing, you don't need to know more about that, but maybe through this self-assessment you find out that you lack some financial literacy. Perhaps you need to revise about how to do some better bookkeeping for your accounts, which you want to apply for a loan, for example, for a bank. So not only does it give you this skills assessment, it will also give you a tailored menu of recommended courses that we have available at the SheTrades Academy that's on the website, which you can actually access as well. So it's a great starting point that I would recommend as well. Next slide, please. And on this, and as part of the SheTrades Academy, we also have a lot of tools and toolkits for crisis management and risk assessment. As we know, we're all going through a difficult time in terms of business because we just came out from COVID, right? But actually now with the conflict, for example, in Ukraine, there is a disrupted supply chains, which has also caused an increase in the cost of living. There's also rising inflation. A lot of businesses around the world, including the ones that we all support, they're facing a lot of trouble, perhaps a lot of crisis. And so as a tool, what we offer is a risk assessment toolkit. So it helps you as a business to efficiently conduct a risk assessment through a simplified structure, a comprehensive structure, and how to assess and to navigate that. We also have a crisis management toolkit, which also helps you take that one step further and clearly define a path forward. It also helps you draw up an effective action plan to anticipate and respond to change. And now actually we've just recently launched a new 2-week course, which is completely free of charge. It was created in collaboration with our partner UPS. It's called Resilience in a Box. And it's also to help you build up your resilience for future crises. So this is also something that's available on shetrades.com at SheTrades Academy. And if you're interested to know more, you can also scan the QR code and learn more about it. Now you also have to be logged in to actually access this course. So if you haven't done it already, I would suggest that you sign up. The next slide, please. Okay, so now we're going to finance, which is also a very interesting and innovative part of the platform. Next slide, please. So one of the main problems that we found out after working with women-owned businesses and entrepreneurs, women-led businesses over the past few years, we found out one of the biggest challenges is a lack of capital. In fact, women face an estimated 300 billion capital gap as compared to their male counterparts, and 70% of women-led businesses around the world have inadequate or no access to financial services. So, this presents a very major challenge that we are trying to address, especially now that we're so close to the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals agenda. So what have we done about it? We created this project called SheTrades Invest, And this project aims to bridge the gap between capital providers, so companies or financial institutions such as banks, Absa Bank, Zanaco Bank, for example, etc., who want to support women entrepreneurs with women-led businesses as well as SMEs, so businesses that benefit women. So to make that clear, this project is for women-led businesses, but also businesses that benefit women. So the next slide, please. So how do we do that? There's one tool that we have that I would like to highlight with you. If you join this project, we have a very innovative tool that we just recently launched. It's called the SheTrades Invest Automated Matchmaking Tool. So basically, it means that when you fill out your profile on the SheTrades Invest project, you can have the chance to actually be matched with a capital provider, depending on your requirements, like for example, and also on your profile. So for example, if you are a mature company or you're a company that's just starting out, maybe you're looking for funding to expand your business. Say you're a farmer who needs fertilizer, for example, and you're growing green beans, for example. You want to apply for fertilizer, some funding to buy some fertilizer to grow your business. If you meet the right conditions, you can actually be matched with a capital provider, provided that the conditions are met and you match what they are also looking for as well. So not only can you be matched with potential capital providers, you can also get informed about financial services that are available for women, and also key requirements to obtain funds from capital providers. So for example, one of the issues that we faced in the field is that sometimes there's a problem of collateral. A lot of women, perhaps they don't have property under their name and they're not able to apply for loans from a bank. So through this project, we also approach capital providers and we explore different alternatives to provide access to finance for women-owned and led businesses. You can also get feedback as well from the capital providers to improve your profile. And we have a lot of capacity building resources, opportunities, and free online classes that will help you build up your skills-based competencies. Of course, you can also be inspired by other women owned and led businesses who have accessed finance and have gone through this experience before as well. If you would like to learn more about this, please feel free to scan the QR code and explore the page and the brochures and further details there. And the next slide, please. I think, could you please go back? Okay, can you click resources, please? Thank you so much. So another highlight of the platform is we have a lot of publications and success stories. So as mentioned before, we have a lot of experts who have developed our publications, which are useful not only for policymakers, but also for women-owned led businesses or capital providers or institutions that want to perhaps adopt a gender lens in their investment strategy to help women-owned and led businesses. So I would advise to just explore the publications that we have available. There's a lot of things on the AFCFTA, for example, that could help women-owned and led businesses to explore what are the potential opportunities or perhaps a room for growth in that area. And we also have a lot of success stories. Sometimes all you need is just a little push from other women who have, you know, they have they're people of determination. They're able to make the best use of all the tools that we have available, not only from SheTrades, but from the rest of ITC, as my colleagues have presented, and they're able to grow and to thrive. And then you can see how they've managed to expand their business as well. So this is just a few of the resources that we have. And the next slide, please. So another tool that we have, which is also a great resource, is SheTrades Outlook. So this was a tool that was launched in 2020 to help improve the policy ecosystem for women in trade. And it's basically looking at eliminating obstacles in the policy ecosystem that present barriers for women who want to trade or do business. And it targets policymakers, women entrepreneurs, associations, researchers, and NGOs. Also students, for example, if there's anyone interested in seeing what the policy landscape looks like for women in business, this is a tool that they can also explore and get data from. So its objectives are to map the environment for women in trade, to examine what are the data gaps, and to identify areas for potential inclusive policy reform. If you would like if you have any specific questions for this tool or for about SheTrades Outlook and about the policy aspects of our initiative, feel free to email this email here that's highlighted. And the next slide, please. Okay, so a little bit more about the tool. So this tool comprises of 6 policy dimensions, which you can see on the right-hand side. This is work in society, trade policy, business environment, legal and regulatory framework, access to finance, and access to skills. It's also made up of a further 83 indicators, and it's comparable across countries, regions, economic groupings. There are 38 developing and developed countries and over 80 good practices in the tool, with 80% new data on trade and gender. And if you'd like to explore the tool, you can also scan that QR code and start exploring it as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so now we go to events. And yes, so now we go to events, and on SheTrades.com, on the online platform, you're able to keep up to date with what our latest events are. And we are always having webinars, workshops, trade fairs, which you can apply to, and you can also showcase your products. You have the chance to do that as well. For example, what's happening right now is the raising funds for your business course. That's a very popular course right now. That's a 2-week course from the SheTrades Invest project, and it's teaching entrepreneurs how to actually raise capital for your business. And there will be another round later on in the year. But for example, now we are coming out of COVID, so there are more and more in-person events. So for example, those 2 on the screen that you see there, Power Up Your Business in Indonesia, we just had that in person, and also a technical workshop in Hanoi that was also in person. So there may be an in-person event coming your way soon. So just keep an eye out on that. And if you would like to follow us on social media and to have the latest updates on our event as well, I highly recommend that you follow us at ITC SheTrades on Facebook to get notified. And the next slide, please. So thank you very much for that very quick overview. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to email us these questions at womenandtrade@intrasend.org. And I'm here as well for any questions.
Thank you very much, Rashida. Very impressive to hear about the different resource materials and tools that the SheTrades platform offers. And I think this platform is very relevant for the SheTrades Hub that want to better support the women-owned business ecosystem, but also to promote this platform through their network to have a better reach and a wider use of it. So thanks a lot for the presentation. We actually have 2 questions from Alana from the SheTrades Caribbean Hub. She mentioned that she recently signed up to the platform and she was wondering if there was different level of access given as a host institution, or it's fine to continue with a regular profile. So this is the first question. And the second one is about the SheTrades Invest. And she's asking if there is a strict verification process for the capital providers.
Okay, thank you so much for those two questions. For the first one, at the moment, everyone is given regular access. However, in the future, in the pipeline, we are working on potentially giving some a different level of access for host institutions as well. So when we have more information on that, we will of course let you know. For the second question for the SheTrades Invest project, yes, there is a verification process for capital providers. And if you would like more information on that, I would suggest to start by viewing the page. We have some detailed brochures there, and also to email to this email. I'm going to type it in the chat. So if you have any specific questions there, you can also send in your query to this email address, and my colleague will be able to help you.
Thank you. Rashida, thanks a lot for this very comprehensive presentation. I joined my voice to Lucy's to congratulate you in, in this very, great undertaking of the platform. I just wanted to have a question regarding the self-assessment tool for SMEs. If you can, I'd like to know what is the depth and scope of this assessment, and whether this is something that focuses on gender only, or it focuses on competitiveness, if it is adapted, for example, by sector, by company size, by industry, etc. So just to have an understanding of what we expect out of this tool. Because as we see, we have also other tools on the competitiveness. So I wanted to know the difference and to give clarity to the SheTrades Hubs on what is what is this particular tool providing.
Thank you so much. So for your question, so the SheTrades self-assessment tool, it does give you, there is a sector element as well, but to be honest, the exact details, I'm not able to give them to you because I was not part of the development of this tool. What I can do is I can come back to you with more information on that, or I can provide you a contact who will be able to answer your questions.
Great. You know what? Also, Rashida, what I propose is that we come back with that question. We try to answer that question, and also we can include in the booklet, so that the BSOs that will be interested in using the tool, they will know exactly what are the specifications, what they can get out of the self-assessment, and how to use that. So if you agree, we can do that. There is quite a lot of material, obviously, and we don't want to put everything on the booklet. But I think that some key elements like this one, and also the one on the investment venture investment network. I think it's going to be there going to be information that the apps would like to have.
Sure.
We have one more question in the chat from Fatou. She is asking if the tools are available only to hubs and members, or can be accessed by partners, for example, BSOs and policymakers. So I don't know if she refers, Fatou, just to the SheTrades platform, or the other tools also that we have seen. But all the tools are accessible to hubs, but also other like BSOs, also policymakers, and SMEs. I don't know, Rashida, if you want to add anything regarding these different actors. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much, Fatou, for your question. So anyone is able to access these tools just as long as you register on the platform at shetrades.com. So once you've registered there, you can access any of the tools. So policymakers, women entrepreneurs, students, for example, young women, businesses that are interested in being part of this ecosystem, for example. So there's really no limit. Anyone can access it. This platform was designed to support women-owned and led businesses specifically, but anyone can access and benefit from these tools.
Thank you for the clarification, Rashida. I think we don't have.
I have another question actually from Siti Zakia. Don't know which I don't know which is the hub, but Siti is asking if if the platform is available in only in English, or if we can access the platform and the information in other languages.
Thank you so much for your question. The platform is available in French and Spanish as well.
Okay, great. Great. So thank you so much for that.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us today. So I think we are now moving to the last presentation of this session with Andrea Santoni, that will present our ITC benchmarking for trade platform, which was recently updated and renewed. So we are very happy to present it to you today. So let me introduce you to a bit to Andrea. So Andrea has 20 years of working experience with business support organization in more than 35 countries around the world. Andrea has supported hundreds of BSO in key managerial and operational areas such as strategy, governance, and change management. He also contributed to the development of the first version of the ITC institutional benchmarking approach, which is the ITC's methodology to assess, compare, and upgrade the BSO performance by comparing them with globally recognized best practices. And Andrea was also the main, one of the main contributors to the development of the ITC benchmarking for trade platform that he will present to you right now. So thank you, Andrea. I hand over to you now.
Thank you, Lucy. Let me change the presentation and get, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes,
okay,
we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, Lucy, for this very high-sounding introduction. You make me sound old when you say 20 years of experience, but indeed, years are passing fast, and it's been a while that I've been working with business support organization all over the world. As you said, at ITC, we have one business line which really focused on the performance of business support organization, and this is why also we are here today facilitating this program for you, right? We believe that business support organizations are important intermediaries between the public and the private sector, and they can make a relevant difference and long-lasting difference in supporting SMEs in becoming more efficient, effective, and more competitive. But in order to do that, we need to have institutions that are strong, institutions that have their strong muscles well up and well rounded in order to actually become you know, a useful tool for SMEs to grow. Is this the objective that with this objective that we have created several years ago, the ITC benchmarking platform for trade? The ITC benchmarking platform for trade is basically a management tool that allows business support organization to measure and improve their performance based on good practices around the world. Basically, we function as a platform. We work with hundreds of organizations around the world. We see what works and what doesn't, and we condense all that into an assessment tool that we deliver to you to provide you a very specific and tailor-made tool to assess your own performance as an organization. As Lucy reminded a little while ago, we actually have revamped this tool during the pandemic, and we also have included the possibility to run self-assessment tools, self-assessment diagnostic for SMEs. So we basically we want to empower the business support organization to run competitiveness diagnostic of SMEs through the same platform. So let me go very quickly through the presentation. So the presentation, as I said, is a management that is designed to assess and improve the performance of business support organization. The tool relies on two types of assessment. The first one is a self-assessment that you can do online every time you want and as many times you want. But also we have an assisted assessment. So is a more pushed assessment that we do with you in order to help you identify really where the problems are within your organization and to improve. And then we're going to look at it in a moment. And obviously, those two models of assessment are bound to boost the performance improvement of your organization. There are many reasons that why you should join the platform and why you should use the self-assessment. One of those is that, of course, it will help you identify your strengths and weaknesses. Will also help you analyzing the consistency and verifying alignment between different organizational areas, objective and structure of your organization. And we'll look in a minute. I will show you the model and you will understand why. It will help you gaining up-to-date benchmarking score and graph for your organization if you want to present your performance, if you want to actually discuss your performance with your ministry or board of director or any other leadership group, like your stakeholders, for example, to understand where the organization should move towards. It will help you compare your performance against peers. And here I want to make a note about the confidentiality of this platform. Every score that you include in the platform will be confidential. However, in an anonymous way, you will also be able to compare your performance to peers. For example, if the Chamber of Commerce of Rwanda wants to compare itself with the Chamber of Commerce of West Africa or Southeast Asia or Latin America, they will be able to do so through the anonymous self-assessment tool, so they will be able to see where they stand in comparison to their peer. Also, obviously, the tool provides the reason behind the variation. We don't only say, okay, you score this much in leadership and direction or on your strategy development process, and we leave you, with any answer on that. If you score below a certain threshold, we provide you with recommendation in order to improve your performance. So this is quite an interesting tool that feature that the tool has. Also, will help you identify where your organization is performing well, prioritize your area of performance improvement. As we said, is a performance improvement tool indeed. So it will help you identify, okay, where should I start, right? It will help you establish new institutional standard to raise performance. It will help you strengthening your credibility to show your performance throughout the years. For example, if you assess yourself for your performance today and you undertake some improvement in 2 years from now, or 1 year from now, or 6 months from now, depending on what your improvement is, you'll be able to show improvement through keeping track of your performance all the time. And also one very important element of the joining the ITC Benchmarking for Trade platform is that this is the let's say official repository of business support organization that ITC has. What does it mean? That every account that is registered in this platform will be automatically rendered, let's say, reflected on other ITC platform, for example, ITC Global Trade Help Desk and others is other platforms that work with business support organization. We're also in discussion with the Climate Smart Network to make it sure that we can connect business support organization through the two systems. The experience behind this tool is massive. We have worked for over 10 years with over 500 organizations, I think, and that is an incredible wealth of knowledge about how an organization should be in order to become efficient and effective. So we have online also a library where we not only provide the best practices, but also case studies on how is on specific study on specific client groups or business support organization. However, the most relevant, let's say, learning process is the fact that we actually condense those best practices in the model of analysis that you use to analyze, to assess yourself as an organization. So this helps the organization to really take advantage of what is happening out there in the world, even though maybe you are in a small village somewhere in West Africa. You will be able to access the expertise of other organizations in other parts of the world, which actually it's what motivated us to launch this program in the beginning. The model of analysis, just very quickly, actually is divided in 4 main areas. We look at the leadership and direction. So we look at the ability that you have to, the appropriateness of your mandate, of your governance, strategy, partnerships, everything that has to do with leadership and direction, governance, board of director, your strategy formulation process, all those very important things that an organization needs to have in place to function correctly. Then we're gonna, the second axis is the resources and processes. So we have the capacity of the organization to access resources. And here we're talking about human resources, financial resources, assets, information. Let's not forget that institutions are a very knowledge-based organization. So for us, for example, HR is extremely important as much as finance and other type of information. Product and service delivery. So here, in a nutshell, how do you translate your strategy and your resources into a product and service portfolio that actually respond to the needs of your clients? And also, it is important to understand that the second the self-assessment tool that you can use with your clients can help you improve your service portfolio continuously. And last but not least, obviously, is how do you measure results? Okay, what is your result measurement approach? What type of information do you collect in your organization? What type of system do you have to collect, analyze, and distribute those information? So very quickly, this is I already walked you through. The model is a maturity-based model based on 4 levels. So the 4 areas are really the big chunks, the big areas of performance. We then have a number of themes that are the one that you see here. For example, under product and service delivery, you see understanding client needs, the relevance of portfolio services, client management in market support, marketing and promotion, external communication and website. Also here, the digital part is very, very important, especially in this last version. And so this is the second level. Then we have a number of measures and a number of indicators. What does it mean? It means that this tool not only provides you an understanding of how you function as an organization, how your core muscles are in terms of overall performance of organization, but also provides you with a very specific drill down on where the problems are in terms of your performance. And the fact that you can read the report in very much detail, you can have an overall view, but also look at the specific areas, themes, and measures that will help you understanding how your organization can perform better. Now, the type of performance that we measure is not only the technical performance. The technical performance is what I just said, and we want to know whether the organization is actually performing well for the core function of an organization. However, we also provide a sustainability assessment that we look at where we look at the 4 gender dimension that ITC is actually looking at: the gender dimension, the youth empowerment, the youth inclusion, social and decent job, and green growth. So we look at whether your organization is actually, how is your organization performing in those sustainability areas. Sorry, I have left here in this presentation this session because actually we train business support organization. As you can see, recently last week we had the 1 session on the model, so it stayed there. I don't know why. That is actually we train. This is a legacy from a training that we organized last week.
Sorry, Andrea, I heard from Rashida that she's not seeing the screen, so I just want to check that everyone are able to see the presentation.
Yes, we can see the screen. Maybe she's having some.
Shared.
Maybe she's having some internet interruptions.
Okay, very quickly on the model, but maybe I will show you in live. Basically, what you know, the assessment is very easy to apply. You have an indicator, you have a maturity-based model, and you have the possibility to score your indicator, and this will be automatically processed. You will have the model of analysis is quite dense. So we have 87 to 90 indicators for the self-assessment, and we have over 200 indicators for the assisted assessments when we do the assessment. And this provides a very specific analysis of your performance. Also, every model of analysis is adapted to the type of organization. ITC identified 19 types of organization, right? We have Chamber of Commerce, Trade Promotion Organization, Association, Women Business Association, etc., etc. And for each one of those organizations, we have a specific model to adapt to the specificity of the performance of the specific organization. For example, an investment promotion agency will have a different model from a Chamber of Commerce. Not completely different, because the core indicator will stay such, but we have a number of indicators that will be adapted to your specific mandate, which I think is very important. So you can look at your score online, but you also have an individual benchmarking report that you can download, and you will have your score, your recommendations for improvement, and also all the indicators that are scored. And in the detailed analysis of the result, for example, this is one example of the strategy formulation process. You will have the indicator that you're scoring, the practices that the BSO is actually having in the specific moment, and the 100%, which is actually the best practice of that particular indicator. You can read it, or if you want to analyze, but you can also have the general score. So at the end of the day, what you get is a multidimensional perspective of performance. So technical score, core muscles, do you function well as an organization? You have the sustainability analysis, which provides you with the analysis of how sustainably focused is your organization towards those four, let's say, areas of sustainability. And also, last but not least, is the different other drivers of performance that measure the organizational culture of one organization, but also the digital readiness. And this is also why we wanted to include this tool with this particular workshop where we're talking about digital, because through this platform you can assess whether your processes are sufficiently digital to cope with this in the international arena. And obviously, all these dimensions will be also provided for your companies, for the companies that you're serving. So that's the next part. Maybe without boring you with the PowerPoint presentation, which looks quite dead, let's go into the platform directly. So you have, let me see why it shows me like this. I don't know. Anyway, let me see. ITCbenchmarking.org. So this is the platform. If you are not logged in, you can do it by actually register to your platform. As I said, we serve both SMEs and business support organizations. So if you are a business support organization, please click here. Sorry, I'm messing up because it's basically I was registered. I was logged in. So if you can register, you just can click this button and get into register as a business support organization. Always please check that. What is this? I don't know why it's. Yeah, that's the problem of getting the presentation live, but okay. I don't know why it's not working now, but let me see. Oh. Sorry for that. I don't know why it doesn't work. There you go. It's back. I'm sorry. So as a business support organization, you can register. You can first check whether your organization is already there, because some of your colleagues might have registered. So if you are from one country, you just have to look whether there are organizations already in that country, so that you can join that account. So if your account is there, you just only have to include your own profile, personal profile, and you will be validated by us, obviously. Then we will verify your actual belonging to that particular organization. But let's see, for example, I am registered. Let me show you how the account looks like. I'm using an account that is a dummy account for digital and trade agencies, that you might understand from my accent, I'm Italian. So this you will access to the dashboard. The dashboard will provide you an understanding on how is your organization performing against the industry average, both in terms of technical performance and sustainability performance, and will give you access to your assessment. So as I said before, every time that you want to start a self-assessment, you can do so by using the self-assessment tool. It's quite intuitive. It's enough that you use the horizontal navigation menu, and you will be able to access both the technical assessment. In the 4 areas that we have discussed, as you can see, leadership, resources, product and services measurement. You can actually read your indicators and score according to your current practice, and this will allow you to actually get the assessment done. I don't know why it's so slow today. Normally it's very fast, but obviously when you present, you obviously have a problem. Sorry for that. I don't know why it's. Anyway, let me walk you through this. This is the assessment, and then you will have the possibility to start a sustainability assessment if you want, and do the same assessment for the sustainability. Same type of tool, but different indicators. After that, you will be able to access a dashboard that will inform you about your own performance. You will know what areas are weak, what areas are performing below average, etc. And you also will be able to access the recommendations and actions to consider in order to improve specific shortcomings that your organization is experiencing at the moment. And then last but not least, you will be able to download the final report in Word and provide and get your report in PDF, so that you can share with your colleagues, and you'll be able to really look at your performance in a detailed manner. Huh? So here we explain a little bit the methodology and what we provide as support for business support organization. And there you have your technical score, sustainability score, digital readiness, organizational culture score. All the different tools are also included in this particular assessment. You will have specific graph for each one of the area of the assessment that you have scored, and the specific recommendations, etc., etc. So the report is quite comprehensive. It will provide you with recommendations, with graphs regarding your sustainability, and a really detailed analysis of results on how is your organization functioning on a multi-level dimension. Okay. What I think it's also very interesting is the view score tool. which allows you to actually drill down to specific score areas and have a specific score for this. You can export them. To export the graph, you can export in Excel your performance. You can keep track of your performance throughout the years, through the different assessment that you have conducted. And also one interesting element is the digital readiness organizational culture. For the same in the same way, you will be able to actually access those data online and also in the report. So today, I think that our developers are doing work. Maybe they didn't know today we had a presentation, but normally it works normally. So I'm sorry for that. Maybe I can stop here because I see we have very little time left. And maybe what I can do is to open the floor for questions. There you go. The tool has resumed. So this here you can see your performance now. You see all the assessment that I've done for tests are not real. So basically they don't provide a very nice view, but you can always filter and select the assessment that you actually want to apply, so that you can really filter by them and see how is your performance evolving. I maybe just the last elements is about my SME performance. This is not the topic of this presentation, but I'd like you to know that through this platform you can get certified in how to run competitiveness assessment of your clients. You will be able to invite clients and set up your own database of clients within the platform. So this will function as a CRM for you also. You will be able to classify the company and also run projects on a specific cluster of SMEs. So this is also a program that obviously you need to be certified to do that, because our tool is we want to ensure a good level of standardization for the tool we use, but you will be using the same tools that ITC used to assess the competitiveness of your enterprises, and this will help you improving your services, your strategy, and your assistance to your clients. So I stop here, and I like to open the floor for discussion. Thank you for staying with us. I see we're still 13, so yeah, we kept our commitment.
Thanks a lot, Andrea. I actually have one question for you. As you know, the focus of this event is on digitalization. And so you showed that the BSO that undertake their self-assessment would get like a digital readiness score or performance. So can you please let the SheTrades Hub know what the benchmarking measure and look like in terms of digital institutional performance, and what makes a winner in this field?
Thank you, Lucy. We actually, it is a very relevant question, because as you could see from my presentation before, I mean, you don't need to understand the model behind to actually use the tool. This is the magic of technology, so it's that's good. But I just want to touch upon the fact that our technical analysis, so when we measure the ability of the organization to perform correctly, also includes some digital readiness elements into each one of the indicators that we assess. So that means not to each one, but to a large number of indicators, because nowadays, I think that the world is divided from digital and non-digital, and for us it was impossible to do an assessment only on digital, unrelated to the technical assessment. So what our mindset in ITC is that an organization, to be technically sound and solid, needs to have the right level of digital readiness. So what we have done, we have embedded digital readiness within the indicators, and we have plugged them so that the system could extract some of this score to create your digital readiness score. The result is that we actually extract this score, and the type of a question that we ask is that, for example, when we measure client management, and we know how important is technology nowadays, and the 75 and 100% score of this particular indicator will be flagged with some element of technology. So an organization could reach 100% only if there is a good level and use of technology on this type of a process. Another example is about communication. I mean, I don't have to convince you that communication go hand in hand with digital nowadays. And so these indicators are actually plugging those elements. But not only, actually, we also look at in the areas of resources and processes, we look whether the organization has the adequate digital tool to access and process the information. Other indicator, for example, in the regional measurement system, what are the technical tools that you use to collect your information, to collect the client satisfaction of your members, to communicate those results, to actually compare them on a year-to-year basis. So let's say that we have managed to streamline digital readiness across all the technical indicators that we have included in the platform, and that I hope you will discover by joining the platform. And I think I hope I've responded to your question. Let me know if it's not clear. I'm going to also paste here in the chat the address so that you guys can join.
Thank you, Andrea, for this comprehensive answer, and we invite then all the hubs to join the platform and also to score yourself regarding your digital readiness, but also the other technical areas. So we are running now a bit out of time. It's 12 our time. And if you want to get more information about the tools that we have covered today, but also about the two last presentation, we'll be sharing with you a small e-booklet with the key takeaways, the resources and materials of the session. And also you will have the contact email also if you want to know more about the different tools and the different presentation. So thank you very much for having been with us during this 3-day event. It has been a pleasure to connect with you, and I would like just to invite Mrs. Michelle Christie, so the global coordinator of the ITC SheTrades Hub, to give some closing remarks to this SheTrades Hub virtual gathering. Thank you, Michelle, for joining us.
Thank you very much, Lucy, and thank you also, Andrea, and also other speakers that already contributed to this event. And hello, everyone. Hello, representative of SheTrades Hubs. I understand that, as you can see, that the timing is cannot really be suitable for the hubs that are based in Latin America and the Caribbean. But I really thank for the participation of our hubs in Asia and Africa, and I really hope that on behalf of ITC SheTrades, I really hope that the 3-day program it was a useful program, informative for you, and also that you can benefit from the opportunity to share best practices, lessons learned, and also not only getting to know each other, but also a platform that could expand your networks, and you know that you can carry over these new connections beyond the timeline of this activity. So thank you for your attention, participations, and we are very happy. So I think after this, Lucy will share evaluation form to reflect this 3-day activity, and then we are very welcome to receive your input as well, as we also finalized the overall program activity for SheTrades Hubs this year. So your input is very crucial. And yeah, so as you can see that, you know, from the 3-day program, I believe that each of you have already leveraged the service digitalizations as part of the institution strategy to support women entrepreneurs. But hopefully also that, you know, like this exchange, this sharing, and also the additional information, especially on different digital solutions provided by ITC, you might serve all of these as additional reference inspirations for you also to the easy part, to benefit better from ITC. And if you're interested in any particular digital solutions that were presented before, please feel free to reach out to me through any channels as you wish, so I will be happy to connect you with related colleagues here in ITC to see also how their digital solution could be embedded into your institution's website, or if you want to also have a further discussion how digital solutions available in ITC could contribute to any of your projects. So happy to discuss about this, and yeah, again, thanks a lot for everyone, and thank you as in particular for Andrea and Lucy for putting a very good 3-day program for SheTrades Hubs, and really hope maybe for the one. I think we'll really try to organize this on an annual basis, because I think this is really a good occasion for everybody. But maybe for the next one, we would be welcoming also partners of the hubs to also join on board. So as this year for the hubs, the theme is you know, like strengthening the community of partners. So I think for the upcoming BSO virtual gathering, or the SheTrades Hubs virtual gathering, we would also expect partners of SheTrades Hubs to join on board. And again, appreciate your input in terms of in the evaluation form on how we can do better, or also maybe focus on which other thematic areas for the upcoming virtual gathering. Again, thanks a lot, and back to you, Lucy.
Thank you very much, Michelle, for this closing remark. So we'll not keep more the hubs, but I want again to thank you very much for joining us during this event, for your commitment, and we are looking forward to connect with you again for future collaboration, and also to share with you further information about this event. So thank you, everyone. Andrea, I don't know, one last word from you. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and I wish you all a nice day.
Thank you. Have a lovely rest of the day. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.